In this video, we're going to talk about updating the document. So you're going to be making a lot of changes to this, which means you're going to be adding and removing and rearranging your equations and your figures. And when you do that, all of the labels are going to get out of order. So how do you put them back in order again? You're definitely not going to want to manually type in the numbers to make it correct, because as soon as you make a change, you're going to have to retype everything all over again. So instead of that, we're going to use updating, which is a feature in Microsoft Word. For example, let's say that we suddenly want to add some equation at the beginning here. And now we have two 13.1s, whereas what we really need is to have 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. To fix that, we will select all, so I'm going to use Command A on the Mac, and I'm going to right click and click Update Field. So my caption labels here consist of fields that can be changed and updated in Word. So I'll just click that and just give it a moment to update. It's for table of contents. And now we can see that this first equation is 13.1, and every other equation has been incremented by 1 to make it in numerical order. So let's actually delete that because we don't need that anymore, just to demonstrate. And real quickly here, I'll also show that you can do the same thing with figures, because our figures are also using captioned labels. So if I take this figure and I decide, so this is figure 13.2 and this is 13.3, but if I suddenly decide I want to take this figure and copy it over to here, so let's just copy and paste that. Now we have a figure 13.3, and this is still figure 13.3. So let's just select all and right click here. Now one thing I want to point out is that I can right click and click this update field, or I can also use the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut, which is pointed out here. So this shortcut consists of 4 keys: Command, Option, Shift, and U, and I can use that to update instead. So I'll unselect here, and instead I'll hit Command, Option, Shift, U. So okay, now it starts to update. Okay. Alright, and let's see what happened. So this is still figure 13.3. Now if we go down to here, it has successfully updated to 13.4. Anyway, now that we've done that, let's put everything back the way it was. So we'll do Control Alt, and I'll update everything again to get it all into order. Let's see, let's do that. Okay, now we're back. So we have 13.2, and then we have 13.3 again. So that's all you have to do in order to make sure that your equations and your figures stay consistent. But what if you want to reference your equations or your figures in the bulk text, which you'll probably be doing a lot actually. For example, let's see, up here, I talk about this figure and I say the diffusion and field forces are equal and opposite as shown in figure 13.2. So when we want to make references like that, we could, for example, start here. So I'm going to do an example with an referencing an equation in the text. So this is the Poisson equation, and in this sentence I might say, to do this we start with the Poisson equation shown in equation 13.1. So now we've made an in-text reference to our Poisson equation, but the problem is that if we have to change that equation, so let's do what we did last time and add an equation here and then update, and hopefully it will start doing that soon. Maybe I have to do it again. Let's see, it's being a little bit slow, but I just want to Oops, I have to select everything. Now let's update. Okay, so now our Poisson equation has changed to 13.2, while this equation reference is still 13.1. And obviously what we need to do is to take our in-text reference and link it to our equation label so that whenever the label changes, our reference will change as well. And to do that, we're going to use a feature called cross-reference. So let's delete this, and let's get rid of this, and let's put everything back the way it was. All right. Okay, so now we're back, and this is 13.1 again. So we're going to use what's called cross-reference, and let's go to Insert, click Cross-Reference, and this allows you to insert references for figures and tables and equations and whatever you need. So here's reference type. Obviously we want to do equation, and then we have all of our equations to choose from. So I'm going to choose equation 13.1 and click Insert. And let's see where we're at. Move this. Okay, so now you can see that equation 13.1, the cross-reference has been inserted here. I'll close this. So this time around, when we insert a new equation and we update it, so now Poisson's equation is equation 13.2, and the cross-reference has also updated to 13.2. So I want to do one more example with, actually I'll leave that in. So I want to do one more example with doing cross-reference for figures, which is pretty much the same thing, but I just want to make one comment here. So let's say that we want to reference figure 13.3. So we say as seen in figure 13.3. So let's go to Insert, and let's go to Cross-Reference. So we have reference type, and we want to click Figure now, and we want to scroll all the way down to figure 13.3. So one thing I want to draw your attention to is this insert reference to. So this basically asks us if we want to display the entire caption or if we only want to display the figure 13.3 when we make a cross-reference, as well as a few other options. So let's say I want to insert the entire caption. So I click this, and now you can see the cross-reference typed out the entire caption name, which is normally not what we want. So let's get rid of that. Okay, here. And instead, let's change this to insert only label and number. So now, if I go to 13.3 and I click Insert, it only shows figure 13.3. So that's just a little thing that I wanted to point out for figures, since it's usually not a problem for equations. So close that. And that's really all you need to know to quickly update your figure and your equation labels, as well as the in-text references, without having to do a lot of manual changes. The last thing I wanted to show you, which is not all that important, but I think it makes working with this stuff a little easier, is how to insert cross-references a little bit more quickly. So, as I already showed you, you can go to Insert and you can click Cross-Reference. But you're going to be using this feature a lot, and I like to have keyboard shortcuts to do that instead. So we want a keyboard shortcut to insert cross-references, but Microsoft Word does not come with one. So what you can do instead is create a custom keyboard shortcut. So go to Customize, so go to Tools, go to Customize Keyboard, and you can see that you have different actions to choose from. So I'm going to go to Insert in Categories, and go to Insert Cross-Reference. And oh, I already had the one that I was using before. but I'm going to remove it as if there was nothing there. So we have insert, and we have the command insert cross-reference, and we want to create a shortcut for this command. So you have press new keyboard shortcut, and I got to select the keys that I want to use. So I'm going to use Control Command C because I think that's easy to remember. So I'll click that, and it automatically pops up. It tells me that these sets of keys are unassigned, so they're not currently being used for any other command, which means that they're good for me to use here. Click Assign, and then click OK. So now if I want to do a cross-reference, I can just click Control Command C, and cross-reference automatically pops up. So anyway, I think that is all, and I hope that that makes working with this document a little bit easier.